Frostland Survivor Man here with you. Thanks for joining me today. Well, at the shop, as you can plainly see. We've had something this year that we haven't had in probably 3-4 years, and that's winter. You can see it's a little chilly in the shop. I have my Nipco heater in here, but I can't keep running that because then you'd never hear me. It sounds like a jet engine. Which is also, it's great for roasted hot dogs. Just in case you wanted to know, you don't want to quick put a weenie on a stick and put it in front of there. And I actually got that idea from the movie Hot Shots, where they roast hot dogs behind the jet engine. Just a funny little tidbit, and that's actually for my nephew, Michael. So, hi, Michael. Today, Joey couldn't be with us. He was planning to be with us, but unfortunately, he took sick, and this cold winter and all the work he has to do is weighing on him a little bit. So unfortunately we have no Joey today, but I got to get on with this project because I got to use it. And I'm going to make not a Zamboni, but the same idea. I'm going to make a Rink flutter. Now just yesterday, I was talking with my dad, and he was telling me about when we lived in Nipigon. Now, I was born in Nipigon, so you know that was a long time ago when we lived in Nipigon. When we lived in Nipigon, the way that they flooded the ice there was they didn't have the money for a Zamboni, so they waited until it got cold, and then they had a small, like a 50-gallon drum, plastic version, with PVC pipe coming down out of it, and they had it on a wagon, and they just drug it around with hot water in it, which worked really, really well. So there are three things that any type of ice resurfacing machine has. There's a number of different brands out there. The two that are most prominent are Zamboni and Olympic. They have three primary things. They have a blade, and it's kind of like a blade in a planer. It's like a big planer blade that just scoots across the top of the ice and levels it off. When you skate on ice, it digs down and digs holes in it, and the idea with the blade is to even it out. The second thing you have is water, but you can't just have like a spout of water. You have to have the water spread out. And that's one of the things that I'm gonna make here, is something that spreads the water out. And then you have to have some type of spreader. And the spreader is actually, usually it's a piece of milk canvas that hangs behind the Zamboni, and you can see it, and they come around the corner and it slooshes the water out, and it just looks really cool. It's a neat thing to see. So we have a few things here. Now, Joey was very gracious and bought us some stuff here. We have a big dust mop. There's the handle. We have our PVC pipe, our PVC fittings that we're gonna use. And then I have to be able to attach it to a garden hose, and this was the most difficult piece to find. Lowe's, Menards, Home Depot, nobody had this piece. I actually had to get this from my friend Corey. Thank you, Corey. Really appreciate it. And when it comes to something that you need that you can't find, Corey is the go-to guy. So really appreciate it, Cork. Thank you so much. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this, and I'll do some of it in fast mode and some of it in slow, is we're going to have a piece that goes across the dust mop, that spans the entire width of the dust mop, and it's going to have holes drilled in the bottom. Then it's going to go at a T up the handle to the garden hose. That's the plan. Very simple plan, and we're going to see if I can't make that work today. So here we are. We're going to do the Frostland Survivor Man version of the ice resurfacing device. First thing we're going to want to do is get our pieces that we need to cut to length. Now, the T is going to take up some distance. So what I want to do is put the T on without the glue, and then measure from the center to where I want the end. Trusty little Sharpie here. This is the best Sharpie. These construction ones, these are, bring it here closer to the camera so you can see that. These ones never freeze. They're perfect for everything that I do. They have a sharp tip, a blunt tip. I can get a big mark or a small mark with the same marker, which is unusual. So then I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to measure the second one off the first one, so they're exactly the same length. here are our pieces, nicely cut. Could I have done it faster with the chop saw? Absolutely I could, but the chop saw is in the wood shop and I really didn't feel like walking outside because I just had my running shoes on. And the other thing is, it takes only a few seconds to cut PVC by hand. And if I'm going to show you how to do this, maybe you don't own a chop saw. So if you don't own a chop saw, you can see that it's really easy to just cut this by hand. Now, when I work with PVC, let me tilt the camera up here. Anytime I work with PVC, I like to assemble everything, get it all put together, make sure everything fits and goes where it's supposed to go before I put the glue on. And this is the glue. This is the primer for the glue. And make no mistake about this. Once you glue it, it is never going to move. You're never going to get those pieces apart again. And that looks just like about exactly what I wanted. That's perfect. So then I have my piece that's going to go, I wanted it to go about 2/3 of the way up the handle for where I'm going to attach the hose to it. Then I have a second coupler and the hose spigot goes on. There it is. And this is really stuff fun. I got my merds mixed up there. Really fun stuff to play with. You can make all kinds of things of PVC. It's fairly inexpensive, but I made a boot dryer out of PVC. I made a small garden box out of PVC. PVC is a really, really great product, and it's really fun to use. And if you've never used it, try it. It's a lot of fun. Find some simple PVC project to make. I have a number of things that I use PVC for. My surf fishing rods, when I go surf fishing in the Gulf Coast, I have those to beat into the beach and stand my rods in there. And my son caught at least a 35, probably 40-pound redfish, and the rod never wavered. You know, he did a great job with that. So those PVC pipes standing right down there, Gulf of America, great fun. Actually, the plan is to at some point do a video about that and go to the coast and do something involving surf fishing and maybe some crabbing and stuff like that. But that's a late in the summertime project, so we'll get to that later. So now I've got to decide where I'm going to put my holes, because we're going to drill the weep holes in the bottom here before I mount this, and I want to see where I want to drill them. Now, I don't want them to be spouting the water backwards. I want them to be spouting the water down. And so let's say we put the handle on here, how it's going to mount right there. So I think right on the bottom, from what I'm looking at here, it's going to work just fine. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to clamp this down and drill these holes. I am sure you saw, of course, that I didn't measure those. The Frostman is no engineer, folks. There they are, and it doesn't matter. All right, I've got this first piece done. I thought I had hit record, apparently not. So I'm going to show that part again, the part of the gluing. So to glue this stuff together, you need these two items. This is the primer. And why is it purple? It's purple so that you know that it's there. And not only that, it's when you have a home inspection done, when the building inspector comes and inspects the plumbing, they want to see that primer on the pump, on the PVC, so that they know that it was done right. And purple and glue. And once these two go together, they're never coming apart. On it goes. And it's really that simple. This will never come apart. And you can see, okay, so there's glue and there's primer. And on it goes. It's that simple. So while I continue with this, I was thinking about time when we went to Manitoba. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law lived in Killarney, Manitoba for a long period of time. And we used to go out there once in a while to experience Christmas in Canada, Christmas in Killarney. It's a real place. Look it up, Killarney, Manitoba. We would go up there to experience Christmas in Killarney. And on one of those trips, Canada has all of these small minor hockey leagues, and every kid in Canada plays in one of those minor leagues. Most of the cities, small towns and municipalities have skating rinks, whether they're indoor or outdoor, they still have them. And so we went to this one place, and it was at night, and the boys played in like a pickup league kind of thing. And so we went to this arena, and the arena was nothing more than like a Quonset hut is what it was. And inside it was an outdoor rink, but it had a Quonset hut built over it. And so when we went to this place, they had just finished the game before us, and they were getting ready for our turn. And so they flooded the ice, and the flooding mechanism that they had for that has stuck in my mind forever. And it actually also stuck in the mind of my son. He remembers that very well. What it was a tractor with a 3-point hitch on it. And on the 3-point hitch, there was a pallet with a barrel and a PVC pipe and dragging a piece of canvas behind it. And the tractor just went around the ice, flooded it. We waited for it to freeze. Didn't have to wait too long. It didn't take too long at all for that to freeze. And once it was frozen, we got out and we played hockey. But that's one of those things that it was an unusual thing that happened somewhere that my son remembers very vividly and very fondly. Here is our garden hose attachment for rink flooding. It is all glued together. It is all finished. The holes are done. It fits right here on this dust mop. And now I'm going to come up with some way to stabilize this on the handle. And I think I'm probably just going to use some type of Velcro. Yes, it's small. Absolutely, it is. But I think it's going to work just fine. Frostland Survivor Man back with you. 50% of our viewing audience is going to be deeply, deeply disturbed today because unfortunately Joey couldn't be here again. Joey is just such a worker, and I think what happened to Joey is he worked himself pretty much to death this week and ended up, not doing well at all. He ran his tank right empty, so he needed a couple days recovery. But in the meantime, with this weather and with people wanting to come play hockey, I got to try out the new Zamboni. So that's what I'm going to do today. Try out our new Zamboni, the thing that we worked so hard to put together yesterday. We're going to try it today and see how it works to flood the ice. Now I got it all hooked up. It's already on the dust mop we borrowed, and the hose is hooked up, so I'm going to turn on the water and we're going to give it a try. Did it work? Well, absolutely it worked. It worked really well. Couldn't be more happy with it. I think it works great. And now I'm trying to figure out how can I take this to the next level? How can I get this on power equipment and be able to really clean this ice up good and really have a good surface? So I'm going to keep thinking about that. You keep thinking about it too. And if you come up with some cool ideas, I'd love to hear them. Leave a comment, that would be great. But right now, looks like we're ready to play hockey. So I'm gonna have to get the sticks, get the nets out, start getting the gear ready. We're gonna play hockey tonight. Thanks for watching, and Joey, hurry up and get better. I sure miss you.